Hey folks, welcome back to Honey Money SG. Today, let's talk about how much CPF balance should you have at the age of 30. First up, disclaimer, this is a really hypothetical situation because I'm quite wary of doing videos like this because there will be a lot of comments telling me my assumptions are really off. But you know the purpose of this video is that we cannot cater to everyone, right? Because it's personal finance, everyone's situation is different. So do bear with me for the numbers, yeah? Okay, so let's start off with the assumptions. So this guy is age 30 male. And why male is because he will only have 5 years of work experience after graduating from college. That also means he started work at age 25, so 5 years of work experience there. So his 5 years of total income will amount to $300,000, which also means that at an average he earns about $60,000 a year. Of course, in the initial stage, he may be earning around $40,000, $50,000, and then towards the later years, approaching age 30, he may be earning like $70,000, $80,000. That's why I take the median of $60,000. Doesn't mean he did not have any salary increments, but it's just an average. And let's just assume that he has zero CPF balance before working. So he has not taken up any part-time jobs before or had any government payouts giving him CPF balances. So that will make it simpler. And let's ignore any interest earned from his CPF, which is not realistic, but I guess it's better for my calculation. Otherwise, there is a lot of compound interest that I need to do, and then you all will be so confused about the math and the calculations that turns some people off. But in any case, it's a conservative calculation, right? So if we add in the interest, it will be a much better stage. But otherwise, let's take a look at some of the CPF allocation rates. So you know, as an employee, you do have mandatory contributions of 20% of your income that must be dedicated to a mandatory CPF contribution. So that is 20%, and then the other 17% will come from your employer, right? The company has to pay you an additional 17% on top of your gross monthly or annual pay. So in total, that will be 20 plus 17 equals to 37% total CPF contributions. And the way to allocate these CPF contributions is that 23% will go to the OA, 6% would go to the SA, and 8% will go to the Medisave account MA. So in total, 23 plus 6 plus 8, in total, we have 37%. That is the current CPF allocation for people aged below 35 right now. So we are good on the assumptions, and let me introduce to you 3 people. These 3 people are Pure Employment Pete, Tax Relief Tim, and Side Hustler Sam. So from their names, you can kind of guess their CPF strategies, right? But let's start off with the first one, Pure Employment Pete. So Pete is 100% focused on his full-time employment. He has no other work contributions, he does not have any side hustles, and does not employ any tax relief strategies in his CPF, which also means no voluntary contributions, no top up to his SA, and that will be the most raw form of CPF contribution and allocation. So using the current CPF allocation, if he is earning around $60,000 per year, and the current allocation will be ordinary account 23% times $60,000 will give you 13.8k in his OA. Special account 6% multiplied by 60k will give you 3.6k in his SA. And for Medisave account, 8% multiplied by 60k will give you 4.8k in his MA. And if we do the aggregate total up to 5 years, which means 5 years multiplied by his annual contribution, that will mean his OA will come up to around $69,000 in his ordinary account. For special account, it will be around $18,000. And for Medisave account, it will sum up to $24,000 after 5 years. Which means if we take the total of the 3 accounts, OA, SA plus MA, that will lead up to a total of $111,000. Sounds like a really big number, right? Because CPF actually compounds over year, and I have not even factored in the interest yet. But let's keep it simple this way, right? We don't want to complicate with too much math. And you realize that $69,000 is actually enough for you to make a BTO down payment just by yourself. I mean, if you're not searching for those really mature estate, high floor, super big rooms, then I think having $69,000 in your OA is a really secure number that is quite aspiring to achieve. But we are not here to be mediocre, right? Because it's just Pure Employment Team. Let's look at the other guy, Tax Relief Team. So like Pete, Tim does not have any other work contributions, but what he does is that he watches Honey Money SG really religiously and employs the tax strategies that he would use, such as retirement sum top up to his SA or voluntary contribution to his Medisave account. or for tax relief. So for Tim's case, he's going to max out his voluntary contribution to his Medisave account at $8,000 a year, and that will be eligible for tax relief. And he will be doing that for consecutive 5 years, right? So that is 5 times 8,000 worth of tax relief. So if we look at the normal allocation for his OA and SA, there is no difference between Tim and Pete, right? For his OA, it will be the same calculation at $13,800 a year, and for his SA will be at $3,600 a year. But the difference is in the MA, right? The normal contribution is at $4,800, but don't forget, because tax relief team really employs tax relief strategies very well, so he has to add $8,000 on top of his MA every year. That will sum up to a total of $12,800 every year for Tim. So after 5 years, if we multiply the CPF balances by 5, for the ordinary account and the special account, there will be no difference with Pete. It will be $69,000 for the OA and $18,000 for the SA. But for the Medisave account, the MA, right, because of his strategies that he employ, now you see that his MA has come up to $64,000, because 12800 multiplied by 5, that will be $64K, which is fairly close to this year's basic healthcare sum of $66,000, right? But let's not forget that this is really a huge number. If we sum up all the OA, SA and MA balances, that will come up to a total of 151,000 Singapore dollars, right? Which is a really huge amount for someone at age 30. And you could see that his MA balance and his OA balance is fairly similar, but there are more users of the MA because you can use it to pay your integrated shield plan premiums as well as your CareShield Life premiums that kickstart at age 30. So that is the use of the MA, which is why I prefer that you guys do the voluntary contribution to your MA first, and then your retirement sum top up to your SA can come later. Lastly, let's take a look at our last contender, Side Hustler Sam. So Side Hustler Sam must have been doing some side hustles, right? Let's just assume his side hustle is earning around $10,000 a year. He can do a variety of side hustles, right? Now that he can teach tuition, he can do some photography services for weddings. Those are quite lucrative. He can be a makeup artist, although not really for a male. Some ideas to throw at, y'all can own self go and discover your own side hustle ideas. So his annual income is actually bumped up from $60,000 to $70,000, right? Because 60 plus 10 equals 70. Not only that, because as a self-employed person, Sam actually do have the option to actually voluntarily contribute to his 3 accounts, and those are eligible for tax relief as a self-employed person. So let's assume that Sam also watched my channel, so he knows that if he does voluntarily contribute to his 3 accounts of CPF, which is the max of $3,700, right? 37% multiplied by $10,000. All these $3,700 will be eligible for tax relief, and he will be doing that. Otherwise, there is no other voluntary contribution to his MA or RSTU. He does not employ the other tax relief strategies that Tim have. So now you will realize that Sam's allocation is quite different from the rest, because his base is now $70,000. And if we take 23% OA multiplied by 70K, his 1 year OA will be $16,100, right? And then for his SA, it will be 6% multiplied by 70K. That will be $4,200. And then for the MA, 8% multiplied by $70,000. There will be 5.6K. So after 5 years, if we multiply his annual CPF contributions by 5, his OA will come up to $80,500. And then for his SA, that will come up to $21,000. And lastly, his MA will come up to $28,000. And if we sum up his total CPF balance at age 30, Sam's total CPF balance will be $129,500. So here are the 3 examples that I talk about, right? Pure employment Pete, tax relief Tim, side hustler Sam. Which one do you identify with the most? Comment down in my comment section below. And by all means, doesn't mean that you don't hit this CPF balance, you are a loser, because everyone's personal finance situation is really different. You can use it as an inspiration, but definitely don't say that it's rubbish assumptions. And if you want to know how much CPF balance I have at the age of 30, then you must watch this video because it's one of the most popular videos on my channel. With that, thank you for watching. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.